The woman dragged the pine log uphill alone. Jacob Morgan watched from his horse on the ridge, the late October wind slicing through his coat like a blade. The log was full length, heavy enough that two grown men would have cursed hauling it. She had a rope slung over her shoulder, boots biting into rocky soil, her faded calico dress streaked with mud up to the knees. Most women would have quit an hour ago. She didn't. Jacob nudged his horse down the slope. Below, the half-built cabin came into view. Walls barely chest-high, no roof yet, surrounded by scattered tools and rough-cut timber. A sagging canvas tent leaned nearby, smoke curling weakly from a fire pit struggling against the cold. She heard him before she saw him. Straightened slowly, breathing hard. She didn't run, didn't call for help. Just stood there, chin lifted, eyes steady, watching him approach. "Afternoon," Jacob said, dismounting. She said nothing. "That's a lot of cabin for one person. Don't need charity from strangers." Her voice was calm, but her hands stayed tight on the rope, as if she might need it as a weapon. Jacob studied the structure. "Roof won't hold without proper bracing. Storm will be here in 2 weeks, maybe less. I'll manage." He looked at her again, really looked this time. A pale scar ran from her left temple to her jaw, old and clean against weathered skin. "Burns," he guessed quietly. Her shoulders tensed. "I'm not pretty," she said, sharp and defensive, like she'd said it 100 times before. Jacob met her eyes. "That's fine. I need honest, not fancy. Winter kills pretty folk first out here." She blinked. Something shifted. Surprise, maybe, or suspicion, because kindness had never come without a price. "Why would you help me?" she asked. "Because I'm tired of liars and nice dresses." He picked up her hammer, tested its weight. The handle was wrapped in cloth, adjusted for smaller hands. "You got nails?" She hesitated, then nodded toward a crate. "I can pay with labor. I cook. I mend." Fair enough. He walked to the nearest wall, checking the joints. "What's your name?" "Clara Brennan. Jacob Morgan. I run cattle 3 miles south." Clouds thickened overhead. Light faded fast. "We start tomorrow at first light." Jacob rode away without another word. Clara watched until the trees swallowed him whole. Then she sank onto a stump, hands shaking. First snow in 2 weeks. First hope in 6 months. She wasn't sure which scared her more. The next afternoon, Jacob crouched by Clara's fire, examining her tools while she boiled coffee in a dented pot. Everything was sorted, planned. Careful stacks of lumber, nails separated by size. "You do good work," he said. "Taught myself." She handed him a tin cup. "After my husband died." He sipped, strong and bitter. "Town's full of widows. Why buy land this far out alone?" Her jaw tightened. "A merchant wanted me after Thomas passed. Said I needed a man's protection." She stared into the fire. "When I refused, rumors started." She swallowed. "Witch, cursed woman. Said I burned my own house down." Jacob said nothing, just waited. "The fire started during a fight. Lamp broke. I tried to pull him out." Her voice flattened. "He hit me into the flames. I got free. He didn't." Her fingers brushed the scar unconsciously. "Town buried him a hero. Buried me alive with gossip." She looked up. "So I bought this claim with everything I had left. Figured if I'm going to be alone, it'll be on my terms." She studied him. "What about you? Ranch that size. Should have a wife?" "Sons." Jacob set down his cup. "Had a wife. Sarah. Beautiful. Everyone loved her." He paused. "She loved town life. I loved the land." He exhaled. "She died in childbirth, 2 years back. Baby didn't make it. I'm sorry." "Don't be." His voice was honest, raw. "I loved her, but I didn't like her much at the end. Truth is," he stood. "Town widows circle me now. All performance, no partnership. I'm drowning in women who want my name, not my life. Clara nodded slowly. So this arrangement is practical, Jacob said. You need help. I need meals and mending. Agreed. They shook hands, firm, equal. Neither looked away. 1 week later, snow fell. They worked in silence, breath fogging the cold air. The cabin walls were complete now, roof frame halfway done. Hold steady, Jacob said. She braced the beam while he hammered. Snow dusted their shoulders. Thomas drank, Clara said suddenly, after we lost our first baby. Jacob listened. That night he came home drunk, angry, knocked the lamp over. She swallowed. I tried to save him. Jacob set down the hammer. My wife wanted everything I couldn't give her, he said quietly. And when she died, my first thought was relief. He stared at the mountains. I've hated myself for that. Maybe God gives us what we can't keep, Clara said softly, so we learn what we actually need. The snow thickened fast. This is turning into a blizzard, Jacob said. I'm staying. There's only one blanket. We'll manage. That night they sat by the fire beneath a canvas tarp, sharing warmth but not touching. Clara read aloud from a battered copy of the Odyssey. Her voice made the ancient words breathe. Sometime near midnight, her head rested against his shoulder. Jacob didn't move. At dawn, horse tracks circled the cabin. Someone had watched. Weeks later, the cabin stood nearly finished. Then town came calling. Public judgment, accusations, pressure. It's just work, Jacob said, trying to protect them both. The words shattered everything. Clara walked away without a word. Christmas came cold and quiet. Flowers appeared on her doorstep, frozen wildflowers, preserved in ice. Jacob stood in church the following Sunday. I was a coward, he said aloud, and Clara Brennan is the bravest person I know. He returned to her cabin, climbed the ladder, worked beside her in silence, then spoke the truth he'd been afraid of. I don't need to rescue you. I know. But I'd like to stand beside you. She studied him. Equal share, she said. Equal say. They shook hands. This time it turned into a kiss, gentle, terrified, real. Spring came, wildflowers bloomed, and love, built not on beauty or promises but on labor, truth, and survival, finally had room to grow. Pretty fades, fancy breaks, but honest builds something that holds.